Thank you so much for tuning in to Awakening with Katina Love. We are a conscious channel to learn about spiritual enlightenment, the law of attraction, and your life's purpose. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the red button below. If you're tuning in from Facebook, go ahead and visit our YouTube channel, Awakening with Katina Love. Today we have a very special returning guest, Michael Luman, and today we're going to talk about how we can use focused intention to manifest our desires. Welcome back, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, thank you.
Beautiful. Awesome. We just did a segment about the power of healing, instant healing. So now we're going to talk about using our intention to manifest. So go ahead and share. How can we do that? Whether
Okay.
that's healing our bodies, manifesting our ideal mate, creating
Yeah.
more financial abundance, or whatever it is that we desire in life.
And it's really kind of the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as soon as we start to think that we have no other possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
then really the possibility of anything different starts getting less and less and less and less. So
Mm-hmm.
in instant healing, through focused intention, the only thing that's happening is all of a sudden more possibilities start to present themselves, which
Mm-hmm.
allows for more possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing if we're manifesting, right? What we're needing to do is we need to have a vision of
Mm-hmm.
the future and then start to act as if it's already happened,
Beautiful.
which is
Beautiful.
the same thing that I'm doing with people, right? But I'm helping them with the vision of the future,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the elevated emotion, right, or the living as if it's already happened,
Mm-hmm.
that's the back and forth until they accept it, right? Like you have to sit there and offset their disbelief until they know it's actually changed.
I get that. What's the starting point? How do we even begin to even entertain that idea if people have been doing the opposite of that? Just kind
Well,
of observing and reacting and living on default. You know
so
what I mean?
there's always a choice in everything, right? So as soon as we choose to do something different,
Mm-hmm.
right, it starts to open up more possibilities. But like if you and I sit around and think how awesome we are,
Yeah.
and we don't do anything,
Uh-huh.
like pretty soon we're going to convince ourselves that we must not be awesome, because if we were, we would do something.
Mm-hmm.
So like doing is the action of belief,
Doing is the action of belief. Okay.
right? If you want something different, then you do different things, but that allows that knowing to take place. Because if you're just sitting around and thinking it, you just believe it.
Right.
As soon as you start doing it, you know it.
Okay. I like
But
that.
then the doing also provides that gratitude as if it's already happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that allows then it to come to you.
I like that. Can you give us one example? Any example?
So an easy one to test, right, is manifest pennies,
Yeah, I do that all the time.
right? So the reason it's easier than other things is because we can grasp
Mm-hmm.
that that's possible, because we've stumbled across pennies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then take that same approach and then step it up to something a little greater than pennies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or you can then put that into like an experience, right? Like people.
Yeah.
So after I healed myself, I went out and put myself out there in the world to help people.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I was being a certain way,
Yeah.
people would, I would come across people all the time. And after the conversation, they would either say, I manifested this, I prayed for this to happen,
Wow.
whatever that statement is,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I wasn't out there necessarily looking for anyone specific. I was just out there being a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And people, we just crossed people, I just crossed people's paths.
Awesome. That's beautiful. So if someone wanted to work with you, how would they reach you? Just reach out to you out on Facebook?
Yeah, for right now, the easiest way is just to reach out to me on Facebook.
Beautiful. And I do understand that you did heal yourself from like a whole lot of things. And do you talk
Yeah.
about that at all in your book, or is it just the things that
No,
you
so the book is way before this. Like the book's 2007. I didn't
Okay.
heal myself of this until 2016. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Beautiful. So if someone, what is the title of your book?
So the book is 800 Meters, The Journey of Addiction, Recovery, and Redemption. So I was an 800-meter runner in high school, but I ran my life a little bit more like the 400, like
Mm-hmm.
just as fast as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Not much thinking and planning and pacing. So like life should be run a little bit more like the 800 meters, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Instead of just all out.
I get it. And so that's what your book talks about.
Yeah, the book just basically tells my story up until that point of addiction and recovery. Not a whole lot of redemption because I was not all that far into that part of my life, but it shares the story of how I went from being an all-state athlete in 3 sports to 10 years later being in prison.
Do you talk about how you overcame that? How what was your life when you got out of prison? Did you write in prison or afterwards or?
I wrote it afterwards, about 5 years after.
Okay.
And I kind of rushed the ending because I was going on a 12,000-mile bicycle tour.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little rushed at the end, but I do share. But again, it really all comes down to choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had enough understanding that I knew that experience wasn't going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
But until I was willing to let it all go, kind of like when I instantly healed myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop picking and choosing the things I wanted to change
Mm-hmm.
and change everything,
Okay.
right? So I didn't give myself any options or any outs.
Mm-hmm.
Too many times with addiction, right? You're going to stop unless this, and this happens. But this, and this always happens.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm not going to use again unless my girlfriend breaks up with me.
Uh-huh.
Right? Or unless I don't have a job.
I get it.
Right? Or whatever that is that we tell ourselves. Or I'm going to stop doing methamphetamine, but I'm going to still go to the clubs and use acid and ecstasy and whatever that is, right? Because we convince ourselves that, well, that wasn't bad, right? It was the other stuff that got me in trouble.
I understand. So where can people find more information about your story and your book?
So at one point it was on Amazon. It's not even on Amazon now, but if people are interested in my book, they can message me on Facebook. And I probably will. I have an 800-meter page on Facebook. I should turn that on again so people can, if they're interested in that portion of it, can get information on it.
That'll be a good idea if you want to promote it. Absolutely.
Yeah, but they can just message me as well. And I'm building a new website too for what I'm doing now. And part of my story will actually be on there as well.
Beautiful. So they can just reach out to you, follow you on Facebook, Mikael, Mikael D Luman, or is it just Mikael Luman on your personal page?
Either one. My personal page has got 5,000 friends already, so I've tried to move everything to Mikael D Luman fan page.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So that's Mikael D Luman, Luman, Mikael.
Yep.
D Luman. Beautiful. Well, thanks again for being a guest on Awakening with Katina Love and sharing your story.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in to Awakening with Katina Love. Namaste.